Hey everybody, how you doing? The moment you have been waiting for. The moment you have been waiting for. The next installment of Musicians on Couches Drinking Coffee. Grab your kids, the wife, the husband, the significant other, whatever you got, the dog, the cat, the hamster, the guinea pigs. Gather around the laptop, the iPad, the smart TV, I don't know, whatever you're watching this on. Anyway, and this is a good one. This is a good one. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Musicians on Couches Drinking Coffee is proud to present today for today's feature, Chris Canas, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Canas. So as you know, Musicians on Couches has evolved to add playing, the live playing part, right? But if you haven't watched the Musicians Couches episode on Musicians on Couches episode before, to explain the premise of the show, I interview a prominent member of this community, this musical community here in the Detroit area, right? The Detroit, Michigan area in the United States. I do have viewers that are in Italy and Russia and some of those places, and I think France too. I think anyway. LA, I know I got some in LA and I got some in San Diego. And then we bring those people to the studio. I put together a band for them. They play two of their originals and I pick a tune for them. And the thing about it is we rehearse and record 3 tunes in under 4 hours. And if you want to know the truth, by the time you get sound and everything, it's really like 3 hours we're doing that in, right? So we leave the blips, the blops, the bloops, the bleats, and you hear real live music done well by real live musicians playing from their heart and soul. And why was Chris Canas the perfect person for my show? First of all, he's an exceptional guitar player. And he not only is a great guitar player, but he's also, I guess I would put him in the shredder category as well. But look, I've talked about this before on my channel. I hate shredders. I have no use for the shredding thing at all. You know, it's not my thing, don't like it. I've worked with some shredders and, you know, and I'm nice. Hey, it sounds good. Sounds great, man. But I like the way Chris Canas shreds. I like the way Chris Canas shreds. Why? Because he actually uses rhythm and melody and soul and all that stuff. And the shredding comes in and comes out and comes in and comes out. It's not just 5 minutes. So he is an exceptional, wonderful guitar player that I love to hear. Great tone, great chops. But even more than his guitar playing, oh my God, he's got one of the best voices, period. No state of Michigan, no whatever. Just period. And I've been around the country, I've been on cruise ships. This guy can sing. And more than sing, because you know I've talked about this before, he can deliver the tune. He delivers the tune. When he sings from his heart, he sings from his soul, and you believe it. And it touches me. As a matter of fact, on the show, I mean, as we're revealing now, it'll be in the little chapters anyway. The song I picked for him was Don't Let Me Down by the Beatles. And he puts his little twist on it. And I'll tell you, the Musicians on Couches version of Don't Let Me Down, I absolutely love. And I'm going to tell you more about it in a few minutes at the end of the show. Before that comes on, I'll tell you more about the recording of that particular tune. But why Chris Canas was so perfect for this show. If you get a Chris Canas CD, I don't know if he does vinyl, I don't know, he might. I'm a big vinyl collector, you know. Anyway, if you get one of his CDs, you're going to hear great songs, note perfect, rhythmically perfect, beautiful, well done tunes, every jot and tittle in their place, perfect. But if you go see him live, now I've been fortunate enough to have been and am one of his substitute drummers. He has a regular guy. His first name is Mark. I don't know his last name. Good player. And they've been together as a trio for years and years and years and years and years. And when his drummer can't make it, I fill in. And really, in the last year, if I count 12 months back from now, maybe I've played with him a total of 6 times. Maybe. I'm not even sure about that. Right? Because this guy doesn't miss that often. And they work a lot. They work like 300 dates a year. But when you go see Chris Canas live, oh my goodness. You know, and I hate to compare him to this band because he's nothing like this band at all, except in some philosophy, like the Grateful Dead, where he starts out a tune and you don't know where it's going to go. And as a drummer, when you're a hired hand, it's not only fun, and you better have your thinking cap on and your ears on, you know what I mean, to be listening about where they're going, what are they going to do next. As a drummer, it's both fun and scary. Fun and scary. Because that's just it. I think, now he does a lot of his original tunes, and even with his original tunes, so he really prides himself on never really doing it exactly like the record. As a matter of fact, he doesn't even really do it the same way twice. And when he covers a tune, just case in point, I think, and he can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, I think it was a Stevie Wonder tune. I think it was Superstition, one of his cover tunes. And it started out, this is on Saturday night, this is back in April, at a casino up north. It started out as Superstition, and then it took a left or a right turn to this Latin, merengue-ish, samba-ish thing, and everybody's in the audience doing their stuff. And we didn't just do it for 8 bars. We didn't just do it for 16 bars. We didn't just do it for 32 bars. We did it for like 5 minutes, and the place was going nuts. And you know, Chris allows the band to evolve the show wherever it's going to go. And you'll see in the interview, sometimes things don't work out the best, but sometimes you get, in his words, epic. 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 So without further ado, let's go right now to the first tune I'm going to present. It wasn't the first tune that we recorded that day, but the first one I'm going to present. And I think what you're going to hear is the second take. I think we only did 2. Blues tune, wonderful tune, really cool tune. There's a line that repeats in there that I just love listening to. Anyway, without further ado, the name of the song is Queen of My World. Here we go.
You did me wrong when you sent dirty pictures to another man. I should have dropped you way back then, but I forgave you because of the love I had. I done everything I can do, turn a blind eye to the things you do. You won't ever be the woman I deserve, even though I made you queen of my world. Left a good woman to give us a chance, helped you move out and bought all the pots and pans. Grown-ass woman still living at home, and I should have known right there to leave that little girl alone. Well, I done every single thing a man should do, turn a blind eye to the things you do. You won't ever be the woman I deserve, even though I made you queen of my world, of my world. Made you You tore out my heart when you down that handful of pills. You made me down on one, baby. But then you struck me with all of the bills. Put a spell on me, but now it's broken, baby. You no longer get to keep this good man. You keep on forsaking me, darling. After giving chance and the chance and the chance and the chance. Well, I done every single thing a man should do. Turn your mind out to the things you do. You won't ever be the woman I deserve. Even though I made you queen of my world. Queen of my world now, baby.
And now, a word from our sponsor. Hey folks, the sponsor here. Hope you enjoyed that tune. It's a cool tune. All right, the interview is coming up right now. But I want to apologize first. I look a lot like the sponsor, right? Or I mean the guy who introduced the sponsor. All right, the interview is coming up. I want to apologize first. I made a rookie mistake. And not that this is an excuse, but up to now I've done all the interviews over Zoom, and all the interactions have been between me and the camera in my home. So I wanted to do the live interview in the casino, and I don't have a camera that allows me to put an external mic in, and so I used 2 mic settings, but there was just a lot of... I used an external mic on the side, and I tried to sync it up, but a lot of casino noise. But fortunately with AI, I was able to clean it up a lot. So the audio is not awful, but it's not the best in the world either, so I apologize for that. But this channel needs your support. It needs support so I can buy a better camera, so I can put an external microphone on it that is unidirectional. Unidirectional. You know, why does uni sound dirty? I don't know. But one way you can support the channel is by ordering a hoodie. These are sensational. Musicians on couches, drinking coffee. Oh my goodness. If your spouse is going to leave you, your significant other or whatever, you wear these. He or she, I guarantee they will or will not leave you. After this, one of those 2 things they will do. After you wear these things, $40 a sweatshirt. Email me. The information's right up here. You can get one of these. And if you do it this first week that the video comes up, I will send you an MP3, a free MP3, a free MP3. So no copyright is applicable. The shirt you pay for. The MP3, I will put it in your email box of Don't Let Me Down, which is the final tune in this show. All right? So please, or if you don't want to spend $40, $1, 50 cents, $2, $5, my PayPal or Venmo, much appreciated. Thank you very much. Now, on to the interview. All right, let's welcome Chris Canas to the now second new and improved Musicians on Couches Drinking Coffee.
Absolutely.
We don't have any coffee with us, but there's coffee over there. That's
right.
okay.
They got it.
So I'm just for the fans, my 525. I'm playing a couple of shows with Chris Canas this weekend. That he's coming for early in the week. I'm the fill-in guy. I thought about questions for you, and I wrote them down, but I like to keep them too official.
Right.
So here's you were born in Detroit. You're an official Michigan in Detroit.
Yes. Officially born in Detroit. Born and raised partially in Detroit. And then eventually my mom was like, you know what? These streets are pretty bad out here, so we moved to the suburbs, and she wanted a different kind of education, so she took me out to Farmington. And then lived there for a minute, and then I eventually moved out to Ann Arbor. But always visited Detroit as much as I possibly could.
So, and you're definitely just there's a shredder guitar player as well as a regular guitar player.
Right.
I separate them a little bit of both. Right. So, at what age do you remember where you picked up the guitar and you said, "Yeah, this is what I'm doing"?
All right. I first picked up the guitar. I think it was acoustic. I was real big into the Clapton ballads and Tracy Chapman. My mom used to take me to women's festivals and pride markets and all kind of stuff back in the day. So I would play acoustic there, and it just stemmed from acoustic guitar, and then it went to piano, and then I found a rickety old bass in my grandmother's garage that only had 2 strings. So I fixed that up and learned how to play bass on 2 strings, and then it went to drums and harmonica and then a little bit of everything. So. But I finally landed fully on guitar. I think it was B.B. King that did that to me.
Oh, all right. When do you actually form the Chris Canas band?
I officially formed, I think I was 18. And we were entering into the blues competition. And at that time, I was going down, I was 16 before that. I was going down to see Barnetta all the time at the music venue. And I played with another band when I was about 15 or so, Luana Taylor. And so I was traveling with them, and I started hanging out with Barnetta. And then I think I was about 18. We entered, and it was at 5th Avenue in Royal Oak. It was me, Brett Lucas, Chuck Bartels, and my mom.
Oh, all right.
And then we won that, and then we went on to Easton Street Ballroom for the final. And then I don't remember who won that year, but I think Brett broke a string, and then the whole show was like, no more. And I was like, oh no.
So there was 2 things I definitely wanted to ask you about. These are kind of shorter interviews. We're going to just for some of the music we're going to do, which we can't tell you about the secret song, but we will. Okay. So you did 2 things in your career that I noticed that I wanted to mention. First, I mean, when the band was first together, and the first time I started to play with you, your mom was part of it, which is very unusual that you would see a guy out there touring with his mom.
Exactly. Right.
So I kept thinking, was that your idea? Was it hers? It just kind of happened? I mean, she had a great voice. Everything was great about it.
Yeah.
And I think it really helped even to separate you because it was all about just playing with his mom.
Nobody else
does that. Right.
So, play with her mom.
But where most might say, no, I'm going to do this on my own.
Right.
How does this happen?
It was just really different because my mom was literally my best friend in the world. And for me, it started off, she was just behind the camera. And, she would film me at the tap room or whatever. And I think just for the heck of it, just to catalog what I was doing. She recorded everything that I was doing, from soccer to football and everything. So I think that was just the next thing she wanted to record me doing. And so she was behind the camera, and there's I hours and hours of footage from the early days at the tavern. And then eventually, when we did the competition, I was like, I think I want to be keyboardist. And then she played piano, of course. So I was like, well, you can do it. She's like, oh no, I don't want to do this. I was like, you can do it because it's your dream to be like on stage and be a jazz singer. So as your son, I want to help you, fulfill that dream. So she's like, all right. I finally, pulled her leg enough, and then she did it. We did it during that competition, and then it just happened naturally. It wasn't like let me plan. What can I do that's different from everyone else? It wasn't anything like that. It was just we always sang together anyway. So we might as well just continue on doing our thing.
Right. It was a great dynamic.
That's the kind of blues man I strive to be. I'm not gonna let down my family. I'm from Detroit. Now I was born in Detroit City, on the rough side of town. I've been broken, I've been bruised, but I refuse to choose to stay down. Play the blues all across the nation, even across the deep blue sea. While my guitar gently weeps, everybody's gonna see that I'm from Detroit. Look out! Not gonna ever change my way. Not gonna try to be the same old thing. So proud of being from the deep. Detroit Prince of the Blues, y'all, is what they call me. Listen, I lost my mom to cancer. She was beautiful and brave. She was deep, short, strong, and then she passed it on down to me. Well, now I'm here to play the blues for you, straight from the 313. I'm a real blues man, but I'm a good man from Detroit. Not gonna ever change my way. Not gonna try to be the same old thing. I'm so proud to be from the deep. Detroit Prince of the Blues, y'all, is what they call me. Whoa! on me.
So the next thing I wanted to mention is your way of approaching the show.
Yeah.
Okay, as you know, I've played with just about everyone in Detroit, right? And I got a little bit of reputation, right? And from Dornetta to Tasha, and most performers come on Nagy CD and Albertson Old. Most guys, they do their tunes. They may change an arrangement a little bit.
Right.
They may decide to do this one slower or something like that. But it's definitely discussed beforehand, and they may be rehearsing to do it. And even when I toured with Dick Wagner, you rehearsed for a week or 2 weeks, and you ran that show, and you didn't really do anything in that show that wasn't
Like what? What is that?
as a matter of fact, if Dick liked the film that I did to introduce a guitar solo, he would say, "Yeah, keep that one,
keep that next time."
And I would do that fill for the next 2 weeks.
Right, yeah.
It wasn't on the road.
Until somebody else does something.
Okay, Chris Canas' show is nothing like that whatsoever. As a matter of fact, last night he did the Prince song "Kiss"
Right.
a way that he had never actually done before that way.
Yeah.
Just way fast, and it even took me about 30 seconds to figure out I was doing Kiss, and that's what we were doing. So it's very sort of almost like Grateful Dead meets Jimi Hendrix. That's sort of like the Fish jamming.
Yeah.
How does that format come to be?
It's a format that I have adopted from I want to say jazz. Even though jazz is very red, it's very like you play the head, and then you do this, and then you might go off to your solos, but there's still a form to it. And then you come back to the head, right? Mine is we have a basic structure underneath, and then you just build on that. Kind of like cooking. If you ever do savory cooking, you can just, all right, I'm going to cook this steak. I want to put some salt and pepper on it, but if I want it to be like Mediterranean, I might do this. If I want to change it to, I don't know, American, like down home southern, I might throw this in there. So it all depends on the mood and the crowd. And being like a super heavy empath, I feel everyone in here. When the show is going, it's like, and I look at everybody. And if this butt isn't moving, if this toe is tapping, if this person's not paying any attention, then we change things depending on where we need to go.
I want to thank you for coming on board the show.
Yes, sir.
It's I can't wait for the studio. This whole thing won't air until about mid-June.
Yeah.
It'll be 3 kick-ass songs, 2 that you pick, and according to the rules of the show, if you remember, folks, one that I pick. And he knows the one I picked.
Yeah.
It's a good one. We're gonna kill it.
Oh, that's gonna be so
And with this time, he's gonna have to do my arrangement.
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
It's pretty close, but it's a little differences. So thank you once again, Mr. Canas, for coming for the show.
Absolutely.
And let's have a good show tonight.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Let's rock it.
I want to preface it. First of all, when I do these kind of things, I'm wearing 2 hats. I'm wearing a producer hat. And that really, to me, that job is, well, it's got there's several jobs, but one of the jobs is hiring the people you know will do a good job for you and letting them do their job. That's a good producer. You hire the right people, you put them in the room, you tell them what you're interested in getting done, and then let them do the work. And you may not get exactly what's in your head, but you're going to get something really, really, really good. And that's what I did here. Now, the other hat I wear is music director, like I kind of wore for Carnival Cruise Lines. But in this case, I come up with, well, in this one in particular, I came up with a little more than a skeletal arrangement. I knew I wanted 2 bridges. I had the background vocals in my head, and I sung them to the background vocalists. And then, again, I let happen what happens. And it was tweaked a little bit, tugged a little bit, pulled a little bit, and we come up with this incredible version. But before I show you that version, let me go through the players for you. First, Mary McGuire. Mary McGuire, the voice of an angel. What incredible background vocals. What incredible vocals, period. I worked with her with Mark Farner and Dick Wagner and people like that when I was on the road with this kind of thing, and then we did a big show at the Fillmore. And I knew that when I hired her, not only would she be able to make what's in my head become a reality, but she would do it better than what I had in my head. So I knew Mary was the right person. And then, you know, I'm not a believer in this kind of thing necessarily, but I'm wondering lately, because sometimes I do believe that we're in a simulation. That's my one crazy thing. I do believe this might all be a computer simulation. But I was thinking about David Winans II as the other background vocalist, because he worked with Mary and they worked together well, and they worked together at the Fillmore, and I thought they had a great blend together, and I knew the 2 of them together would be great. David is a pro of pros. He is a professional's professional. But I didn't know how to get a hold of him. And in he walks to a Tasha Owens gig. Ba-boom! Ba-boom! It's if the Lord Jesus wanted this video to happen. Anyway, the background vocals came out spectacular. Thank you, David. Thank you, Mary. Much honor and appreciation to you. And then there was my bass player, Adam Brody. Adam Brody, and I'm honest on this channel, we leave the bleeps and the blops and bloops. He was not my first choice. The regular DMO or DO bass player was supposed to be on it, but he had a scheduling conflict and couldn't do it. And I put the word out, and to be honest with you, I got several emails back of people who were interested in doing it. But I wanted Adam. And I made this joke. Adam, I found out recently, is 5'4", but his ears are 6'5". And I knew first of all, he's a Beatles fan, and I knew whatever he was going to do, he was going to do a great job. And he was going to adapt, adjust to do what was necessary for the music. Again, Adam, great job. Thank you very, very much. I owe you big time. And the last person besides the featured artist that is in the DMO, Drummission Orchestra, is my good friend, Nick Tabarias. I mentioned him before. He was featured on the last Musicians on Couches. Nick Tabarias is not only a brilliant brilliant guitar player. If you need a guitar player, you need to hire him. Little Stevie Van Zandt, you need an extra guy if Nils needs some time off to promote his new album. Nick's a guy you need to hire. Nick is not only tasty, talented, good guitar chops, but knows how to use them and not use them. But he's one of the nicest guys, one of the warmest, most great friends I've ever had or known. Now let me put a caveat on that. He's Canadian, so a great, nice guy for America is probably just average for Canada. Because let's put it this way, guys, we're nuts. Okay, if you watch the news, we're nuts. If you don't think we're nuts, you're nuts. Okay, so having Nick in the room with me, I knew it was going to be great. Because whatever Nick does is going to be great. And finally, to my featured artist, Mr. Chris Canas. I can't thank you enough for doing this song. This song has special meaning to me. I talk a lot. Well, not a lot. I talk occasionally on this channel about the difference between being lonely and alone. And lonely is something like, well, maybe this weekend you don't have anything to do and there's nobody to talk to and you're lonely. But alone, or you're alone. You're alone. But if you're lonely, that becomes like a way of life. You know, it becomes a way of life. And when you're in that space most of the time, Don't Let Me Down is one of the most meaningful songs to me in the world, because I know what John was saying in Don't Let Me Down. He was telling Yoko at the time, I don't have very many friends, so please don't let me down. And I knew when I hired Chris Canas to be the next featured artist, and hiring's the wrong word, I didn't really hire him, I asked him if he wanted to be the next featured artist. I knew he could deliver the song better than anyone save for John. Because Chris brings to the table such heart, truth, honesty, passion, compassion, empathy. These are the things that transcend the music and come across through the music. And trust me, I have worked with people who don't know how to do that. I have worked with people who get on a computer and test their voice with wave files to make sure their pitch is perfect. And when they sing, that's what it's like. But this was true for John, and this is true for Chris. Even when John had a hoarse throat on With the Beatles and they recorded 11 songs that day, you grab on every word because you knew he meant it, because you knew he felt it, and that's the way it is with Chris Canas. If you have not seen Chris Canas live, if you have not bought one of his CDs, you need to do that today. Email me, because you got to buy a sweatshirt. Email me for a sweatshirt, and I'll put you in touch with Chris to get all of his CDs. He is, in my estimation, one of the best performers, if not in the state, best performers. I'm not the brightest in the country. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Don't Let Me Down.
Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. she does. Oh, yes, she does. Oh, yes, she does. And if somebody loved me like she does, yes, she does. Oh, yes, she does. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. And from the first time that she really loved me, oh, she done me. She done me good. I guess nobody ever really done me. Oh, she done me. She done me good. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. I'm in love for the first time. Don't you know it's gonna last? It's a love that lasts forever. It's a love that has no past. The first time, don't you know it's gonna last? It's a love that lasts forever. It's a love that has no past. Don't let me down. 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 Don't let me down.